Welcome back YouTube, I'm Ahmed again from In-Depth Tech Reviews, and in today's video I'm going to show you all the new changes in iOS 15 Photos app and to compare it side by side with iOS 14 to give you a clear idea about all the new changes. I will create similar videos for the rest of the apps and other system features until I cover almost everything we currently have in the second beta. Then I will start making regular iOS 15 software update videos, which is something new to the channel and I hope you will like it. So without further ado, let's jump in. So here's iOS 15 public beta 2 on my iPhone 12 Pro Max and iOS 14 on my iPhone XR. And the first change is in the More button. As you see here in iOS 15, you will get an overlay menu instead of a card that slides up from the bottom of the screen. And you will also see two new additions here. One is called Your Photos Only and the other is called Yours and Shared. And that's because there is a new feature in iOS 15 called Shared With You. If someone sent you photos via iMessage and you are included in these photos, the feature will automatically show them in your main gallery. So if you don't want this to happen, you can simply choose Your Photos Only. You will also find the filter menu item has been renamed to filters and the edit actions button is now gone from iOS 15. Now let's open one of the photos to see more differences. And here's the same photo side by side and it's a live photo. But now on iOS 15, you can tap the word live to change your live photo effect. You can choose between loop, bounce, long exposure, and so on. To do the same thing on iOS 14, you have to swipe up to access your info pane and choose one of the effects from here, which is similar to what we have seen in the More button. Apple started to use more overlay menus in iOS 15. Right next to the live drop-down menu, you will see a small bubble over here showing you the name of the person who sent you this photo via iMessage, which is a nice to have piece of information. Plus, you can tap on the bubble and get immediate access to your conversation with that person and reply from here instead of going to your messages, which is something we don't have in iOS 14. You will also notice this new information button that takes you straight away to the info pane. It's exactly the same thing as swiping up on the photo, but it got its own button. Talking about the info pane, from here you can also tell the name of the person who sent you the photo, and tapping on the name will allow you to reply in messages, which is the exact same thing we saw with the bubble. But this behavior will change when you open a photo saved by a third-party app. For example, I sent myself this photo using Facebook Messenger. First, you won't see the same bubble at the top, and when I swipe up to access the info pane, now it says saved from Messenger. When I tap on it, it will not take me to the conversation with that person, but it will show me all the photos I received from the Messenger app instead. And if you take a look closely, you will see it used the word Messenger in the search to locate these photos. And that means now you can search for the photos using the app name. And that wasn't the case in iOS 14. So for example, here I have some photos already saved from Facebook Messenger, and as you see, I'm not getting any results. This new search feature will make your life a lot easier with some third-party apps. So for example, here, Facebook Messenger doesn't create any special album to save the photos. It will get saved automatically to your phone gallery. But if you want to locate all the photos saved from the app, simply search using the name, and that will be much easier. Another small addition to the search bar is the new dictation button that you can use to search with your voice. And now it's time for today's sponsor. This video is sponsored by Ugreen USB-C multifunction adapter. It's a great choice to expand your connectivity either if you are using a Mac or Windows laptop, iPad Pro, a tablet, or even a phone. Just connect the adapter to one of the USB-C ports in your device to get 3 extra USB Type-A ports with data transfer up to 5 gigabits per second. You will also get a USB-C port with 100 watts pass-through power delivery, so you can connect your charger to it to fast charge your device and use the adapter at the same time. On the front, it has HDMI output with up to 4K resolution support. It has a reasonable size so it can easily fit in your day-to-day carry. And if you are in the UAE like I do, you can order one of these online from Sharaf DG or visit one of their retail stores. In the description, you will find the purchase link, store locations, and Ugreen's social media pages. And now, let's get back to the review. Back to the info pane to see what else we have here. Now on iOS 15, you can change the date, time, and the location of the photo manually, which is something you can't do in iOS 14. To adjust the date and time, tap on the new adjust button over here. It will first show you the original date and time, and then it will give you a calendar to choose the month, the year, and the day you want. Then you have a time picker, and finally you can also change the time zone if you want. Once you are happy with the changes, tap on done to save. And to change the location, simply tap on the map like this, and then tap on edit, you will get a search bar to start searching for the location you want. I'm gonna pick a random location here. Once you are happy with the changes, go back and you will see the map now is updated, showing my new location. And if you found yourself made a mistake and want to get back to the original location, simply tap on edit again and you will see the word revert at the top right corner. When you tap on it, it will revert back to the original one. And as you see here in iOS 14, there is no edit button at the top right corner, and that's why you can't change the location. Another way to edit the date, time, and location is by using the share button, and then scroll down a little bit and you will see edit date and time and edit location. One more thing worth mentioning about this part is the ability to change date, time, and location for multiple photos. So here I'm selecting random photos and then I'm gonna tap on the share button, scroll down and then tap on edit date and time, and as you see I can change it for all plus the location as well. And as I showed you in the location, you can also revert back to the original date of the photo by going to edit date and time. If you made a change, you will see this revert button over here, tap on it and it will be back to its original date. And finally, you can also remove the entire location of the photo by going to edit location and then tap on remove, and by this the photo will not have any location info saved. One more thing you can do from here, which is not available on iOS 14, is the ability to create a PDF document from your photos by going to the print option. As you see here, I don't have any printers connected on both, but the print option on iOS 15 is available, and that's because when I tap on it while not connected to any printer, I can create a PDF document from my photo, and it says here PDF document and the size will be 24.8 megabytes. And that will be useful if you have a photo of a document and you want to convert it to a PDF file. In iOS 15, you can also change the paper size and you get plenty of options to choose from, and based on your choice, the thumbnail will get updated to show you how it will look like in reality. So let's cancel this and get back to the info pane, and as you see here, when I swipe up, the images carousel will disappear in iOS 15, which wasn't the case before. Plus, you will get much more information about the image here on iOS 15, and that wasn't the case previously. All you get on iOS 14 is the location, but now you can tell the file name, which device used to take the photo, what kind of format is the file, how many megapixels is the camera, the file size, the lens, the aperture, the ISO, exposure, and the shutter speed. Now let's talk about the shared with you feature. Now when you go to the For You tab, you will find a new section called Shared with You, and under this section you will find all the photos and videos you received via iMessage. From here you can immediately tell the name of the person who sent you the photos and also if they are saved to your library or not. You will also notice that all these photos are sent from the same person, however they are not grouped together, because in this section they will appear based on how you received them in the first place. So for example, I received those 7 photos together as a group, and that's why they have their own thumbnail. And these are a couple of individual photos and then another group of 3 photos. But there is only one exception here. When you tap on any of the individual photos, they will show next to the grouped photos as well, which is not the case when you tap on a group. The contact bubble under each photo will allow you to reply directly to this photo in the Messages app, and that's why when I tap on each one, I get a different image. But if you want to reply to a specific one in a group, open the group, tap the photo you want, and then use the bubble over here. You also have the option to see all of them at once by using the See All button over here. When you force touch on a group of photos, you will be able to delete all of them together or reply. And when you do the same for individual ones, you will get an extra option called Show in All Photos. Now let's talk about sharing photos in Messages app. When you tap on the photos icon, as you see here, in iOS 14 you can scroll horizontally first, while here in iOS 15 it will scroll vertically, plus you will see straight away the search bar at the top. And if you want to get access to all photos, you can swipe up to expand, while here in iOS 14 when you swipe up, it will only show you the recents with the sharing suggestions, if any. But if you want to access the same view, you have to tap on the All Photos button. And when you multi-select photos, you will see they are now selected in order. You will see the number 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So if you want to make sure your photos are shared in a specific order, now you can do this in iOS 15. However, on iOS 14, you will only get the tick sign, which means your photos might not be shared in the same order you prefer. The Show Selected button that we used to have in iOS 14 is now gone, and the cancel button is now called clear. When you tap on cancel here in iOS 14, it will dismiss the photos, while here it will only clear your selection. Now let me talk about a couple of new features in iOS 15, live text and visual lookup. Those two features are deeply integrated in the Photos app to help you identify and copy text from your photos. Use your photos to search for landmarks, pets or breeds, plants and flowers, books, and more. So when you open a photo that has something identifiable like this one, for example, you will see a couple of stars next to the info button. When you tap on it, it will show you an icon in the middle. This icon will change based on what you have in the image. So when you tap on it, it will try to search for this pet or dog and give you more information about the breed. Keep in mind, this feature only works with pets, not all types of animals. And here's how it works with plants and the flowers. As you see here, now the icon is different. When it comes to landmarks, you will see the icon at the bottom right corner instead of showing in the center like in pets and plants. And for text, you can tap and hold to start copying straight away, or tap on this small icon at the bottom right corner to get a better visual experience. But in case of text, the info button will not change. And by the way, it also works with handwritten text. Those two features work exactly the same as Google Lens, so if you want to know how they are compared to each other, you can click the link showing now on the screen or in the description below. Now let me show you some random visual tweaks. First, the map in your info pane is now smaller than iOS 14, while the font used is bigger. Also, the word places is no longer available. Under albums and then people and places, you will see circular thumbnails instead of the square ones of iOS 14. And when you go inside, you will see circular thumbnail instead of the rectangular one. Also, the name of the person is now written under the thumbnail instead of being at the bottom left corner. The favorites button is now gone. And to add someone to your favorite list, you have to select first and then tap on favorite. Plus, the favorite icon itself is now bigger and it has a blue color. And when you go inside the photos of a specific person and then scroll down, you will see some people's suggestions. As you see here, it detected two different faces. And from here, you can quickly tap the person photo and then give it a name from here. While in iOS 14, this option doesn't exist. But in iOS 14, to do this, you have to tap a specific photo and then scroll down and you will see different people here. So you can do the same thing and add a name. So it's slightly easier to do on iOS 15. You will also see more space between your favorites and other people. And also let me add another person here. And as you see, it looks much better in iOS 15. Now let's talk about memories, and it got a complete redesign. First, the card size is much bigger and you will get more rounded corners instead of the sharp edges of iOS 14. The cards are using a 3D design that makes them float over the background, which is the opposite to the flat design of iOS 14. And the titles are now dynamic, so you will see different fonts and different placements depending on your memory style. While here in iOS 14, they are exactly the same for each memory. At the top right corner, you will see two new shortcuts, one to quickly add the memory to your favorites, and the other one will give you more options like change title, delete memory, and feature less. While on iOS 14, to do the same, you have to open the memory first and then tap the three dots at the top right corner, but you will also see slightly different options. First, the suggest fewer memories like this option is now called featureless with a new icon, same as delete memory, and the share photos option is now gone. Now let's tap on the memory to see what the difference is between the two. On iOS 15, it will start playing in full screen right away, while iOS 14 will first show you a preview at the top, and then the list of photos in your memory will be listed under. On iOS 15, to view the memory photos, you can tap on it and then scroll through the photos using this floating carousel, or tap on the grid button at the bottom right corner, and it will give you this full screen grid view that you can also pinch to zoom to change the size. While here on iOS 14, when you pinch to zoom, it will only zoom one photo and the grid size is fixed. From this view on iOS 15, you can do a lot of things. So let's tap the More button on both. You can remove the memory from favorites, change the title, manage photos, which will allow you to choose the photos you want to show in your memory, choose between short or medium durations, and the number of photos in your memory will change dynamically based on your choice. And finally, you can AirPlay your memory, which is something you can't do on iOS 14. On iOS 14, the More menu will give you just few options, but if you want more advanced stuff, you need to play the memory first and then tap on Edit at the top right corner. From here, you can change the title, the title image or key photo, and on iOS 15 to do the same, you can force touch on any of the photos and then choose make key photo. To modify the photos and videos used, you can tap on photos and videos. You will first get a carousel with a preview at the top. From here, you can delete the photos you don't want or tap the plus sign to get a grid view. And from here, you can also deselect any of the photos or add more. While on iOS 15, it works slightly different. When you tap on Manage Photos, it will take you straight away to the same grid view you have on iOS 14, where you can select or deselect the photos you don't want. To get a similar carousel view like what we have on iOS 14, you can tap on Show Selected. As you see here, it looks very similar but with different options like deselect all, select all, or manually tick or untick the photos you want. Another small difference in the grid view, on iOS 15 you will get a select all button that doesn't exist in iOS 14. Let's get back to the rest of the options we have here to see what else we have. The fourth one is called Music. On iOS 14 you can choose from the suggested tracks. You have plenty of stuff to choose from, but unfortunately you can't use your own. But the best part on iOS 15 is the ability to choose your own song from Apple Music. And to do this, you need to start playing the memory, and you will find at the bottom left corner this music button. Tap on it. It will first show you the name of the song currently playing, and then it will give you two different buttons. The first one will allow you to add songs from Apple Music. It will first show you the suggested tracks, but if you have a subscription, you will be able to search for the song you want and add it to the list. There is one more feature here that doesn't exist in iOS 14. It's called Memory Looks. You will get 12 different looks for your memory, or in other words, it will apply a filter to the photos and videos playing to change the mood of your memory. And next, we have duration. On iOS 14, you can choose the duration of your memory by picking the amount of seconds you want, while here in iOS 15, tapping the three dots will give you three different options, either medium, short, or custom. Now let's play a couple of memories to see what are the differences. The first difference is the new swipe gesture. As you see here, when I move my finger left and right, nothing happens, while here in iOS 15, I can switch between photos using this new swipe gesture. Not only this, but the music won't stop if I changed the photos. So here's an example. As you see, the song is playing and I can freely change the photo I want to see. While on iOS 14, if you want to move forward in your memory, the music will stop. So let me show you this. So now I'm playing. Let's say I want to move forward. As you see, the music is gone and it will only play when I remove my finger. And when you tap the screen on iOS 15, you will get this image carousel, so you can quickly check all the photos, plus tap on any of them to quickly jump to the part you want. While here in iOS 14, when you tap the timeline, it will play and pause, but you cannot jump with a tap. You can only swipe your finger. You can also jump to a different part of your memory by using the grid view and then tap the photo you want. And when the memory ends playing, you will see a new Watch Next feature. So let me show you how it looks. As you see here, it picked one of the related memories I have, and it says here Watch Next with a counter that starts at 9. And then it will play automatically. You will also get 3 buttons at the bottom, one to replay the same memory, add to favorites, or share. On iOS 14, you can also check the related memories by scrolling all the way down, and here you will find related and also some information about the location. But keep in mind, the location info and people does not exist in iOS 15. And if you want to quickly hide one of the photos from your memory, you can go to the grid view, force touch on it, and then you will see here hide from memory, which is something you won't find in iOS 14. There's a couple more touches here. Let's say you are playing the memory and went to the editing page. The music will keep playing but in a lower volume. And when you are done with the memory, you can swipe down to dismiss like a normal photo, which is not the case here in iOS 14. And if you want to create a memory from any of the albums you have, just tap on it and then tap the 3 dots at the top right corner. You will see here a new option called Play Memory Movie, which doesn't exist in iOS 14. And once you tap on Play Memory Movie, it will create one in a matter of seconds. And if you want to save it to your collection, tap on any of the editing buttons and it will give you this message telling you to edit this movie. It must be added to your memories. Once you tap on OK, you have it now in your list. Now let's talk about editing memories, and in this part both are totally different. In iOS 14 you will get these automated modes like happy, uplifting, epic and so on, and all of them will only change the transitions and the music playing, which is very basic, but in iOS 15 it's much more than this. Apple calls it now memory mixes, and it's much more advanced. For example, it might pick one of the songs you listened to in your trip or event, or one of the popular songs at the time, or maybe you went to a concert, so it might pick one of the artist's songs. It will also change the memory look by choosing one of the filters I showed you earlier. You will also see new transitions and a set of new cinematic collages, so let me show you how they look. This is one of the cinematic collages I mentioned. So as you see, they have very nice transitions. So that's pretty much it for today. Those are all the new changes I found in the Photos app. Please let me know in the comments what do you think. So I hope you like my video, and if you do, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe for more videos. Thank you for watching.